So, who remembers Hey Arnold?
He's the star of Nick's newest Nicktoon. But what is Arnold really like?
Hey Arnold was amazing. In fact, Nickelodeon itself was a company that was able to produce many cartoons that were able to be on par, if not even greater, than some of Cartoon Network's greatest hits. Hey Arnold was one of, at least in my opinion, the greatest cartoons to come out from Nickelodeon in the late 90s.
Thanks for having us, Sammy. I love your seashell toilet. Very comfortable.
That's not a toilet, that's a sink.
Well, don't go in there. Shotgun, Arnold.
Wouldn't it be cool if the creator of Hey Arnold, Craig Bartlett, had something in store for Cartoon Network? Well, in 2004, specifically in February, he did.
Party wagon, party wagon, piles of treasure, we'll be snagging. Through Slate and Hale on the Oregon Trail, we'll follow the wagon train. We'll hunt for bear on our underwear and yodel a happy refrain. Party wagon, party wagon, party wagon.
And today, we're going to be talking about that special, because I have the screener copy of Party Wagon, a show that was going to be a show on Cartoon Network, but was only, unfortunately, just a pilot. Let's get into it. So we start off by meeting a boy named Randall McDuff as he's writing to his Aunt Cordelia.
Many adventures have distracted me since I last enjoyed your gentle company.
He began traveling due to an interruption of his wedding vows due to a disagreement between his in-laws. What? McDuff decides to leave his hometown of Kennebunk. He sneaks on a train and travels west, but is eventually kicked off due to not having any money to pay for it.
I found myself in need of a horse, so I tamed a stray bronco.
Ow! Is that the same ow scream? Ow! Eventually he reaches the Missouri River. He plans to board a boat, but doesn't have any money. The boat owners get into an argument with somebody else, and McDuff sneaks on the boat disguised as a woman. While on the boat, he meets two other stowaways who also couldn't afford the fare, Lewis Clark Jefferson and Romeo Jones. However, they end up being found and thrown off. They luckily end up finding another boat heading the same way, and they can board for only a dime. There they meet Bumpy Snitch and his daughter Cornery Snoot. Before taking off, another girl named Sublimity Jill jumps aboard with her horse, Larry.
Almost took me an involuntary bath, and I already had my bath this week.
Their boat hits some turbulent waters and cracks as their pilot floats off to sea.
Yeah, it's not bad as luck, folks. Yeah, I've been through worse than this. In fact, I gotta tell you, by the time I can...
As they're stranded, another one of the boatmates introduces himself as Three-Eyed Jack and tells the others about his secret diamond mine, El Glitterado. He begins to show them the map he has, until their boat breaks and his map falls out of his hand. Three-Eyed Jack drifts off into the sea, but the rest of the group manages to get on land. After fighting over the map, it's ripped into pieces, so the group decides to work as a team to find the diamond mine. They finally meet up with the first wagon train.
Carmen, whoa, Brunhilde. Good evening, Mr. Wagon Master, sir. I'm Bumpy Snitch. You might remember we spoke this morning at the Missouri. You called me a half-wit and an idiot, and I called you a farm boy and told you to get stuffed and mounted.
Oh yes, it's coming back to me now.
The owner of said boat is having a bit of trouble wanting to let them on, but after some quote-unquote persuasion, they finally decide to let them stay with them.
Perhaps we shouldn't be so hasty to judge these poor wayward travelers, husband, but let them cleave unto us, as we would cleave unto others. Oh, yes, Father, please, let them cleave.
All right, you can stay for the night. If you camp 100 yards outside our circle.
Look, you can tell she totally slept with Romeo. We finally catch up where we began with McDuff writing the letter. Unable to find a place to mail the letter, he simply continues it. They find an old broken down wagon and decide to search it for supplies, but find 2 orphan boys, so they adopt them into their wagon train.
Howdy, strangers. I'm Billy Bartley, almost 11 and more like 12. This here's my little brother, Toady Bartley. He's 6, just 6, and we're both orphans.
Three-Eyed Jack has managed to wash up from out of the water and buys his own wagon in an attempt to meet up with the rest. Jill makes a bet with Romeo and Lewis that she can teach McDuff how to shoot. Meanwhile, Three-Eyed Jack is hot on their trail with his new wagon. They make it to a town called Casper the Friendly Town. Is that a Casper the Friendly Ghost joke? They decide to enter a bar where Wild Bill Hickok is playing cards. McDuff jokes to the bartender, who is the same man that originally piloted their boat, that he's a wanted man, to which people believe he's a part of some gang, so he gets run out of town. Three-Eyed Jack finally heads to Casper and bribes the bartender to join with him to catch the party wagon. They reach another patch of water, so the party wagon needs to split onto a different raft so they can all have room. Three-Eyed Jack has finally caught up to them and kidnaps the original pilot of the raft and replaces him with their first pilot, or now the bartender. The pilot leads them down the wrong side of the river where they're cut off by Jack as he fires cannonballs at them.
I reckon he means to kill you folks, but don't worry a bit. I've seen far worse than him. In fact, I remember the time when we...
Jack tackles McDuff and they fight as they both head down the river and over the waterfall. Jack gets sent down the rapids, just like before, as McDuff is saved by Jill and her horse. The team regroups and continue north to Seattle. They finally reach Seattle as they pass a Starbucks. After getting into an argument, they finally stumble upon El Glitterado.
Listen to you nag me halfway across the
Well,
continent.
we had to drink your coffee halfway across the...
Trying to find a big H? No help from any of you, I might add.
Shut up, my head
I'll
hurts.
make your head hurt. I'm sick of all of you.
Well,
I
you
don't
don't
even
like
want to
it?
look at you.
There's the road.
Big
Don't you hiss at me! Don't you hiss at me!
Hallelujah!
Quiet, Randy! Wait, what do you mean, hallelujah? The big A.
After stuffing all the jewels inside the wagon, McDuff finds a newspaper article that says Three-Eyed Jack is actually an outlaw who stole the jewels and was using the cave as a hideout. After some persuasion, they decide to return the jewels to San Francisco. However, as Jill and McDuff are about to leave the cave, Three-Eyed Jack sets off an explosion that traps them inside. After escaping, Bumpy Snitch challenges Jack to a duel with their wagons. Bumpy wins the duel, but Jack escapes on his way to San Francisco. Luckily, McDuff stole his map, to which was once again ripped into pieces for the party wagon to once again begin their journey.
So we continue south, leading the wagon train. I close this letter for now, as I am again out of paper. I remain, dear Aunt Cordelia, your faithful and obedient nephew, Randall P. McDuff. Sue, just one sheet of your paper?
A fig for thy friendship, thou flap-eared fool!
Oh, for the love of... Move! Hurry up and help me get this wheel back on. Oh, yeah.
And that was Craig Bartlett's Party Wagon. Now, being from the creator of Hey Arnold, you can definitely tell the art style is very similar, but the story is definitely something completely new on its own. It actually reminds me personally of Back to the Future Part 3, especially the main character of McDuff. He reminds me very much of a Marty McFly-esque type character. I think that overall the story was great. Whether or not this would have worked as a series is... we'll have to wait. We would have to see. But as a movie, I think it works fine. Whether or not it would have worked as a series, I'm not entirely too sure. There are some things I would have liked to see resolved, such as the 2 orphan boys, one of which was revealed to be a girl who ended up having feelings towards McDuff. However, McDuff was also shown having semi-relationships with Jill, that especially towards the end, so we could definitely have seen that be resolved. There's just a lot of things that I would have liked to have eventually seen. Just some small plot points just to see what happened, as well as if they managed to return the gold, which I'm sure that they do. But I definitely could have seen this working as a series. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I'll leave the link to there's someone uploaded it to YouTube. I'll leave the link to that in the description down below. So please check it out and see the amazing world of what could have been for this Nickelodeon creator gone Cartoon Network. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this never-before-seen piece of history of missed Cartoon Network media, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.